think part of me knew before I admitted it, but I stayed anyway. There were signs I kept ignoring, small shifts in your tone, moments where I felt lonely, even when we weren't alone. And every time distance appeared, I explained it away, like love could survive if I just stayed. I told myself hard seasons happen all the time, that people lose closeness, then realign. But deep down I think I already knew I was holding on to someone leaving through. I wasn't fighting for us anymore, I was fighting against the ending. I held on too long to something faded out, like love could survive without. I held on too long and it slowly wore me thin, trying to rebuild what had already been. And maybe that's why memory still pulls me through, 'cause I held on too long to you. I remember how tired I became, trying to feel close again, searching for old warmth in who you were then. Every small moment of softness felt enough to stay, even when distance returned the next day. And I think that's what hurts, looking back at it now, how I kept lowering myself just to make it work somehow. Like loving you meant never letting go, even when my heart already know. I confused loyalty with refusing to leave. I held on too long and I lost parts of me too, trying to keep alive what we couldn't do. I held on too long and I finally see love shouldn't feel like fleeting silently. And maybe that's why it still echoes inside me too, 'cause I held on too long for you. I don't regret loving you deeply, I just wish I knew when love stopped being returned the same way. Now I understand letting go isn't giving up. Sometimes it's the only way to stop losing yourself. And I still carry tenderness for what we were before, but I can't keep living inside that door still. I don't hate the version of me that stayed through the pain. They were just trying to save something again, and maybe that's the truth that stayed all the way through. I held on too long because I loved you. I held on too long and I finally released the weight of trying to make love wait. I held on too long, but I survived the fall, even after losing it all. And after all this time, one truth comes through. I held on too long, but I made it through. Sometimes love ends quietly, and the hardest part is realizing you stayed after it already did. I kept telling myself this would pass, that we'd find our way back after whatever this was. At first I thought it was stress, or timing, or life, something small between us. We just needed to survive. You seem quieter than usual, more distant in your eyes. But I convinced myself not to read between the lines, 'cause I didn't wanna believe something real could change without warning signs or someone to blame. So I stayed patient through every shift, calling it temporary while losing grip. I thought if I waited long enough, you'd come back to me emotionally. I kept hoping it was temporary, the distance, the silence, the change, like love would return if I stayed the same. I kept hoping it was temporary, and that kept me there, holding on to moments no longer shared. And maybe that's why memory still pulls me through, 'cause I kept hoping for me and you. I remember making excuses you never asked for, protecting us quietly more and more, telling myself people drift, sometimes they disconnect, but they always come back if the love is correct. And maybe part of me knew it wasn't true anymore, but hope can make distance feel easier to ignore. So I kept waiting through every sign, like time alone could rewind. I didn't realize hope was keeping me from seeing the truth. I kept hoping it was temporary, even when it stayed this long, like denial could somehow keep us strong. I kept hoping it was temporary, while you kept fading away, and I stayed emotionally where you used to stay. And maybe that's why it still echoes inside me too, 'cause I kept hoping for you. I don't think hope ruined me, I think it just delayed the goodbye. Now I understand some endings happen before we accept they're real, and hope can become a way not to feel. But I still don't regret believing in us, even when staying became too much. Still I carry that version of me softly through, the one who waited for you. And maybe that's the part that still breaks through. I kept hoping it was temporary, and you didn't. I kept hoping it was temporary, until I couldn't anymore, until silence became what we were. I kept hoping it was temporary, and that hope kept me blind, till the fact you were leaving the whole time. And after all this time, one truth stays true, I kept hoping it was temporary, because I loved you. I thought we were just going through something, I didn't know we were ending. I didn't lose you all at once, I let you go in pieces. There was a version of you I used to hold on to tightly, and memories that felt too likely, like if I thought about you enough you'd return. If I replayed the past it would learn, but time doesn't follow memory the way I hoped. And I stayed too long holding what I wrote in my head about us instead of what was true, until I couldn't find that you I kept reaching for something, I stopped reaching back. I let that version go, the one I couldn't replace. Like love had to change its shape. I let that version go, and it hurt to admit, but I couldn't keep living in it. And maybe that's why memory still pulls me through, 'cause I let that version go of you. I remember trying to keep it alive in my mind, like preservation could somehow rewind time. But every attempt made it clearer each day that what I loved had changed away. And I think that's what hurt in a quiet collapse, not losing you suddenly, but the gap between who you were and who you became. Slowly learning they weren't the same. I wasn't holding on anymore, I was refusing to accept. I let that version go, and it broke me open first. Like letting go is where it hurts. I let that version go, and I stayed with the truth that I couldn't bring back you. And maybe that's why it lingers the way it do in me, 'cause I let that version go finally. I don't think I lost you, I think I stopped chasing the version of you I created in my head. Now I understand letting go isn't forgetting, it's accepting that love changes meaning eventually. And I still carry a quiet gratitude inside the pain for everything we were back then. Still I don't erase it or wish it away, I just stopped trying to replay. And maybe that's the truth that stays through and through. I let that version go and I grew too. I let that version go and I grew too. I let that version go, and I finally feel the space where memory used to stay. I let that version go, and I can breathe again, even if it doesn't fully end. And after all this time, one truth comes through. I let that version go to find me too. I thought letting go would mean losing you, but it just meant finding what was still me underneath it all. I know people change, but sometimes I still miss who you used to be with me. You used to speak softer when it was just us, like nothing in the world could interrupt. Even silence felt safe back then, like I knew exactly where I stood in it. But somewhere along the way you became harder to know, less open with your feelings, less emotional. And I kept trying to reach the version I remember, while watching it disappear slowly forever. I didn't expect you to stay the same, I just didn't think you'd change this much. I miss who you were with me, the way you used to care, like love came naturally there. I miss who you were with me, before everything changed shape, before distance started taking your place. And maybe that's why memory still follows me through, 'cause I miss who you were with me and you. remember how easy it felt to reach your heart. Now every conversation falls apart, like you learned how to stay without really being close. And I learned how to miss someone standing right there most. And I know life changes people, I know time moves fast, but sometimes I replay what we had, not because I'm trapped there or can't move on, just because that version of you felt like home. I kept hoping I'd hear you again. In the way you used to love me, I miss who you were with me. And I don't know where they went, like warmth disappeared without intent. I miss who you were with me, and maybe you miss it too. Maybe you don't recognize yourself now too. And maybe that's why it still cuts me through, 'cause I miss who you were with me and you. I don't think you became a bad person. I think you just stopped being the version that loved me the same way. Now I understand memories hurt because they stay alive, even when the people inside them don't survive. And I still carry pieces of who we were then, in random songs or 2 a.m. moments again. Still, I don't regret meeting you or what we went through. I just miss the way you felt true. And maybe that's the part I'll always hold on to, who you were with me before we fell through. I miss who you were with me, and I still hear it sometimes in old conversations inside my mind. I miss who you were with me, and I finally understand some versions of people don't last. And after all this time, one truth stays true: I miss who you were with me more than I miss you. Maybe that's what hurts the most, not losing you, losing the version of you that loved me back. It's not that I don't have you anymore, it's that I don't have you from before. You're still here in some way, just not the same way I knew. Talking, laughing, existing through and through. But I miss the version that felt closer to me, when everything between us was easy to believe. Before we learned distance has a quiet sound, before things started feeling less grounded. And I don't know how to say it without it sounding wrong, but I miss who you were before it was gone. I don't wanna replace you, I just want the old feeling back. I miss you from before, when it all felt light, when love didn't have to fight. I miss you from before, and I stay in that space where time hasn't changed your face. And maybe that's why memory still pulls me through, 'cause I miss you from before with you. I remember how simple it felt to just be close, no overthinking, no emotional ghost. Now even silence between us feels different somehow, like something essential is missing now. And I think that's what hurts more than goodbye itself. Not losing you, but losing the self you were with me in when everything made sense. Now it's just fragments of then. I kept loving the present, but grieving the past version. I miss you from before, and I still reach for it, like memory can return what it hid. I miss you from before, and I know it won't come back, but I still look for that. And maybe that's why it lingers the way it do in me, 'cause I miss you from before, of you and me. I don't think you became someone else to hurt me. I think time just changed what we could be. Now I understand people don't stay frozen in love's light. They move forward out of sight, and I still carry that earlier world inside my mind, where everything between us aligns still. I don't hate the present, you are what you become. I just grieve what we were before we were done. And maybe that's the truth that stays through and through. I miss you from before, and I miss me too. I miss you from before, and it echoes still like something time couldn't kill. I miss you from before, and I hold it inside where the past and present divide. And after all this time, one truth comes through. I miss you from before, not you. I keep meeting you in the present, but I only ever fall in love with the past. It didn't hit me all at once. That's why it stayed with me so long. At first it was easy to excuse small things, changing shape. A little less warmth, a little more space. You still showed up, still answered my calls, but something between us felt quieter than before. And I kept telling myself I was overthinking too much, 'cause nothing looked broken from the outside of us. But deep down I could feel something slowly move, like love leaving gently without proof. I didn't see the ending clearly, I just kept feeling it grow. I noticed it slowly, the way we started fading out, like distance learned how to hide itself somehow. I noticed it slowly, and I stayed through the change, trying to hold on to what remained. And maybe that's why memory still pulls me through, 'cause I noticed it slowly with you. I remember checking little things for signs I could trust, the way you started reaching, the way silence became us. Not dramatic enough to call it the end, just enough difference to feel it beginning. I think that's what hurt me more than goodbye would do, realizing slowly I was losing you without one clear moment or one final scene. Just 1,000 quiet shifts in between. I think my heart knew early, before my mind let it be real. I noticed it slowly, and I couldn't stop seeing it then, like every small change connecting again. I noticed it slowly, and I carried it alone while trying to make distance feel inside me too. 'Cause I noticed it slowly with you. I don't think we broke suddenly. I think we faded in ways too quiet to stop. Now I understand endings don't always arrive. They unfold in little silences and subtle cold. And I still replay the moments I almost ignored. The signs that love wasn't ours anymore. Still, I don't regret staying or trying to believe. I just wish I had noticed what you couldn't speak. And maybe that's the truth that stayed all the way through. I noticed it slowly before I lost you. After all this time, one truth comes through. I noticed it slowly with you. It wasn't one moment, it was all the little ones together. Maybe memory changes people, but I swear you used to feel softer than this. I remember the way you looked at me before things became hard, before every conversation felt emotionally guarded. You used to speak carefully, like my feelings matter to you, like love was something fragile you wanted to hold on to. And maybe that version still exists somewhere outside my reach, but the one I knew that felt easier to keep. Now every memory feels warmer than what remained in the end, like time turned tenderness into distance again. I don't know if memory softened you, or if you really changed that much. I remember you softer than the person you became, like love once lived gently inside your name. I remember you softer before the coldness arrived, before we learned how to survive. And maybe that's why memory still follows me through, 'cause I remember a softer version of you. I remember how safe your voice felt late at night, how even silence between us felt right. Now when I replay those moments, they almost don't connect to the distance and sharpness I met. And I think that's what hurts more than losing you itself, not recognizing who you became after. Like somewhere between loving me and letting me go, you stopped sounding like home. I kept searching for traces of the softness I knew. I remember you softer, and maybe that's unfair. Maybe people aren't meant to stay there. I remember you softer, and I still hold on to that side, even after everything changed inside. Maybe that's why it still cuts me through, 'cause I I don't think you became heartless. I think life slowly hardened the parts of you I loved most. Now I understand memories freeze people in certain light, and maybe I still see you through old nights. But I know what I felt then was real to me, a tenderness that once existed honestly. Still, I don't regret loving who you were back then, even if I never fully met them again. Maybe that's the truth that stayed all the way through. I remember you softer than you became too. And I remember me too. Maybe people don't stay soft forever, but I remember when you were. I wasn't really staying for who you were. I was staying for who you used to be. You changed in ways I couldn't name, not all at once, just slowly rewriting what we once were from. The version of you I loved felt closer than now, like it still existed somewhere beneath the clouds. So I kept holding on to that earlier light, even when your present self didn't feel right. And I told myself love means staying through change, but I think I was just staying for the name. I wasn't loving who you became, I was remembering who you were. I stayed for the old you, not the one I see today. Like memory wouldn't let me walk away. I stayed for the old you, and it kept me there too long, holding on to something already gone. And maybe that's why memory still pulls me through, 'cause I stayed for the old you and not you. I remember searching for traces in everything you said, hoping familiarity would come back again. But every new version felt further apart, like I was loving echoes instead of heart. And I think that's what hurt in a quiet decay. Not losing you suddenly, but every day when I realized the person I was holding so tight only lived in my mind at night. I kept calling it loyalty, but it was memory disguised. I stayed for the old you and ignored the shift, like I could resist. What time did I stay for the old you? And it slowly broke me down, staying while you weren't around. And maybe that's why it still echoes in me too, 'cause I stayed for the old you instead of you. I don't think you tricked me, I think I just refused to meet who you were becoming. Now I understand love can't freeze people in place, even when memory tries to replay. But I still carry that version softly inside, like something I couldn't say goodbye. Still, I don't regret loving what I believe was real, even if it wasn't what I feel. And maybe that's the truth that stays through and through. I I stayed for the old you, not you. I thought I was loving you, but I was loving a memory that never stayed. Sometimes I still speak to you, but it's not you anymore. I don't call your name out loud, not like before. I just talk in my head when it gets too quiet in the floor. Like you're still somewhere listening in the same old way, even though I know you're not here the same way. I replay moments softly, like they can hear me now, explaining things I never said somehow. And I know it's just memory, not you anymore, but I still open that door. I tell myself it's over, but I still respond. I talk to that memory, like it might answer back, like silence can still give what we had. I talk to that memory, and I stay there too long, living in echoes of what's gone. And maybe that's why still pulls me through, 'cause I talk to that memory of you. I remember asking questions I already know the answers to, just to feel like you're still somewhere in the room. Like if I speak long enough you might return, even if it's only the hurt. And I think that's what keeps me from fully letting go. Not love itself, but the echo I know. Because talking to you feels safer than the end, even when I know it's pretend. I know I'm alone in it, but I still reply. I talk to that memory, and it still feels real, like time didn't erase what I feel. I talk to that memory, and I stay in that space between your absence and your face. And maybe that's why it lingers the way it do in me, 'cause I talk to that memory too easily. I don't think I'm trying to bring you back. I think I'm just afraid of the silence you left. Now I understand memory doesn't leave, it just learns your name. And sometimes it sounds the same, but I know you're not answering, and I know why. Still I reach for you sometimes at night, not because I believe you'll return again, but because it's the only place you've been. And maybe that's the truth I carry through. I talk to that memory of you. I talk to that memory. Oh, I talk to that memory, and it never talks back, but I still come back to that. I talk to that memory, and it stays where it is, living inside me like this. And after all this time, one truth comes through. I talk to that memory instead of you. I know you're gone, but I I still answer like you're here. I don't know what I expected, but I went looking anyway. I tried in small ways first, like checking old places where your presence used to stay. In familiar spaces, I looked through conversations I already knew, hoping something in them would still feel like you. But everything I found felt slightly out of place, like your voice had shifted without a trace. And I kept convincing myself it was still there, even when it didn't feel anywhere. I thought I could reach you if I tried enough times. I tried to find you again, and everything I knew, like love could return if I moved through. I tried to find you again, and I stayed too long in places where you were already gone. And maybe that's why memory still pulls me through, 'cause I tried to find you again with you. I remember replaying your habits, your tone, your words, like reconstructing a person from a broken world. Every version I rebuilt felt less complete, like I was chasing echoes on repeat. And I think that's what hurt in a quiet collapse, not losing you once, but the maps that no longer led me anywhere real, just places I used to feel. I kept thinking distance was temporary, but you weren't where I looked. I tried to find you again, and I kept missing truth that you weren't hiding from view. I tried to find you again, and I realized too late, some people don't return to that place. And maybe that's why it lingers the way it do in me, 'cause I try to find you again desperately. I don't think you were avoiding me. I think I was chasing a version of you that stopped existing. Now I understand searching doesn't bring people back, it only reveals absence. And I still carry that movement, that persistence, like love trying to solve what time erased. Still I don't regret looking, even if I lost my way, because it showed me what couldn't stay. And maybe that's the truth that stays through and through. I try to find you again, and lost myself too. I tried to find you again, but you were already everywhere, gone like a song that won't come on. I tried to find you again, and I finally see you were missing from me. And after all this time, one truth comes through. I tried to find you again, but not you. I stopped searching when I realized I wasn't looking for you anymore. I was looking for what we were. I keep looking for you in people, but I only find what you used to repeat. There was a version of you that felt easy to love. No hesitation in your voice, no emotion, no walls up. You were softer in a way I didn't question back then, like love was something natural between me and them. But now when I think of you, it feels split in two. The one I remember clearly and the one I go through. And I don't know how to explain it without sounding wrong, but that version of you is already gone. I kept hoping it would come back, but people don't rewind. That version is gone now, and I still feel the loss, like nothing broke loudly, but everything cost. That version is gone now, and I stayed with the change, even when it didn't feel the same. And maybe that's why memory still pulls me through, 'cause that version is gone now of you. I remember trying to reach it in your new ways, looking for familiar warmth in your phrases. But everything you became moved further away, like love had to adapt to what you'd say. And I think that's what hurts in a quiet way, not losing you once, but every day. When I realize again and again through time that the old version was left behind, I wasn't falling out of love, I was watching it change shape. That version is gone now, and I didn't stop it in time, like memory still holds what's left behind. That version is gone now, and I still reach for it, even when I know it won't exist. And maybe that's why it lingers the way it do in me, 'cause that version is gone now, completely. I don't think you disappeared. I think you just stopped being someone I could recognize in the same way. Now I understand people don't stay versions, they become. And sometimes love can't follow what you become, but I still carry the earlier you quietly inside, like a place I visit when I try to survive. Still, I don't rewrite it or pretend it wasn't real. I just accept what time made me feel. And maybe that's the truth that stays through and through. That version is gone now, and so am I too. Gone now, and so are you. I stopped waiting for the old you, when I realized I became someone new too. I still think about it sometimes, not the words, just the way you looked at me. Before things became complicated, your eyes felt easy to read, like I never had to question what you felt for me. There was warmth in your attention, Something calm and true, like being seen by you, made everything quieter too. And I didn't realize back then how rare that feeling was, to feel completely wanted without asking. Because now I replay those moments like scenes I can't replace, trying to find that softness still inside your face. I think I noticed the change there first, before anything else shifted. The way you looked at me used to feel like home, like I never had to carry the world alone. The way you looked at me made everything feel clear, before distance slowly appeared. And maybe that's why memory still follows me through, 'cause I still miss the way you looked at me too. I remember catching your eyes across crowded rooms, and somehow feeling safer just from you. Like your attention held me without needing words. A quiet kind of love I still haven't unlearned. But slowly something changed in how you saw me then. Like familiarity turned into distance again, and I kept pretending I didn't notice the shift, even while feeling us slip. I kept searching for that look long after it disappeared. The way you looked at me started fading over time, like love slowly leaving through your eyes. The way you looked at me became harder to find, until I only saw it inside my mind. And maybe that's why it still cuts me through. The way you looked at me too clearly. I don't think I missed the relationship most. I think I miss being seen the way you used to see me. Now I understand attention changes when feelings do, and sometimes eyes reveal the truth before people choose to. But I still carry those moments quietly inside me, like proof that once upon a time you loved me honestly. Still I don't regret believing what I saw in you then, even if I never saw that look again. And maybe that's the truth that stayed all the way through. I miss the version of me you used to look through. The way time, the way you looked at me was softer than goodbye. And maybe that's why I still hold it tonight. And after all this time, one truth comes through. I still remember the way you looked at me too. I knew you loved me once. I could see it before words ever said it. I waited longer than I should have, not because I believed you would, but because I needed to know you wouldn't. I kept thinking maybe it was time and maybe space, something temporary we just needed to face. So I gave it silence, I gave it days, watched the distance stay the same. And I told myself people return when they care enough, that absence eventually turns back to us. But every passing moment proved me wrong. You didn't come back for long. I asking for everything, just a sign. You didn't come back, and I stayed where you left, counting every silence I couldn't accept. You didn't come back, and I finally saw some endings don't call at all. And maybe that's why memory still pulls me through, 'cause you didn't come back to you. I remember checking places you used to be, like repetition could somehow change reality. Every message I didn't send felt heavier than before, like I was knocking on a locked door. And I think that's what hurt in the slow collapse, not the leaving, but the gap between hope and truth stretching thin, until I stopped pretending you'd begin again. I think I knew earlier than I admitted. You weren't returning. You didn't come back, and I learned to sit with that space where your presence used to stay. You didn't come back, and I still replay the sound of nothing coming around. And maybe that's why it lingers the way it do in me, 'cause you didn't come back for me. I don't think you chose to hurt me. I think you just chose not to return. Now I understand waiting isn't love, it's uncertainty, dressed up as loyalty. And I still remember the exact moment hope got quiet, not loud enough to fight it. Still, I don't blame you or rewrite what's real. I just sit with the feeling you didn't feel. And maybe that's the truth that stays through and through. You didn't come back, and I didn't too. You didn't come back, and I stopped pretending you would, like silence finally understood. You didn't come back, and I learned to let it be, even when it broke something in me. And after all this time, one truth comes through. You didn't come back, and I did too. I stopped waiting at the door when I realized no one was ever knocking back. I'm still here, but I don't think you are looking at me anymore. It didn't happen suddenly. There was no clear moment, smaller gaps in attention. You looked past me more than through me, like I became part of the space instead of the view. I kept talking normally, kept standing the same, but something in your presence stopped saying my name. And I tried to ignore it, tell myself it was stress, but being unseen still hurts the chest. I was still there, just not inside your focus anymore. You don't see me anymore, not like you used to before. Like I became background, nothing more. You don't see me anymore, and I stayed anyway, hope in your eyes. testing it quietly just to be sure. Standing still in moments I couldn't ignore. No reaction, no shift, no emotion, no trace. Like I wasn't part of your space. And I think that's what hurt in a slow kind of way. Not losing love loudly, but fading display where presence doesn't matter if it isn't felt. And I was slowly someone else. I kept trying to reach your attention, but it wasn't there to hold. You don't see me anymore, and I started disappearing too, not physically, just emotionally from you. You don't see me anymore, and I still stay close to someone who didn't notice most. And maybe that's why it lingers the way you do in me, 'cause you don't see me anymore, and I see. I don't think you stopped caring in one moment. I think you just stopped noticing me slowly. Now I understand invisibility isn't loud, it's gradual, like love becoming non-verbal. And I still remember clearly when I felt seen by you, like I existed in what you do. Still, I don't blame you fully or rewrite the past. I just know that feeling didn't last. And maybe that's the truth that stays through and through. You don't see me anymore, and I don't see me too. Don't see me anymore, and I learned to stand still in places where attention used to feel real. You don't see me anymore, and I finally understand. Some people slip through your hands, and after all this time, one truth breaks through. You don't see me anymore, and I don't see you. I'm still here, just not in the way you notice anymore. I heard it before I understood it. Something in you changed. You still use the same words, same phrases, same tone, but something underneath them felt unknown. Like I was listening to someone trying to imitate the version of you I knew before the change. And I kept replaying conversations, looking for the shift, trying to find the moment where we slipped. But it wasn't one sentence or one night. You just slowly stopped sounding right. I didn't want to admit it, but I could hear the distance. You don't sound like you, not in the way I remember. Like something warm inside you left forever. You don't sound like you, and I stay listening still, trying to find the version I could feel. And maybe that's why memory still cuts me through, 'cause you don't sound like you anymore. I remember when your voice used to calm my mind. Now every conversation feels misaligned, like you answer out of habit, not connection or care. Present in the moment, but not really there. And I think that that's what hurts more than goodbye itself. Watching familiarity become someone else without warning signs or dramatic change. Just slow emotional distance through your name. I kept hoping the old you would return in a sentence. You don't sound like you, and I hear it every time, like love fading slowly between lines. You don't sound like you, and I don't know when it changed, just enough that now feels the same. And maybe that's why it lingers the way you do in me, 'cause you don't sound like you to me. I don't think your voice changed first. I think your feelings did. Now I understand people drift before they leave, and sometimes your ears notice what your heart won't believe. But I still remember clearly how your voice once felt, like somewhere I could rest inside myself. Still, I don't hate who you became or what we lost through. I just miss the version that sounded true, and maybe that's the part that stays inside too. You don't sound like you, and neither do I now. You don't sound like you, and I finally stopped pretending that I could hear love in the ending. You don't sound like you, and that's what broke me slow. Not losing your voice, but losing what I know. And after all this time, one truth comes through. You don't sound like you used to. I kept listening for you, but you were already gone from the sound. You never really left all at once. You just kept feeling farther away. At first it was only subtle, something easy to ignore, a little less closeness than before. You still answered me, still stayed around, but connection started fading without a sound. And every day after that felt slightly changed, like I was trying to hold something already strained. I kept reaching normally like nothing moved, while quietly realizing I was losing you. I didn't know how to stop it, 'cause nothing obvious was wrong. You felt further every day, even standing next to me, like distance found a way to grow silently. You felt further every day, and I stayed where we were, trying to make sense of the blur. And maybe that's why memory still cuts me through, 'cause you felt further every day with you. I remember the way your attention started slipping fast, like conversations with me couldn't last. Not because you were cruel or trying to leave, just emotionally somewhere I couldn't reach. And I think that's what hurt the most in the end, watching closeness disappear while we still pretend that everything was normal when I knew it changed. Every single day felt more before you did, that we were already drifting. You fell further every day, and I couldn't pull you near, no matter how much I stayed here. You fell further every day, and I carried that alone, trying to turn distance into home. And maybe that's why it lingers the way it do in me, 'cause you fell further every day from me. I don't think we lost each other suddenly. I think we slowly stopped arriving in the same place, emotionally. Now I understand people don't always leave, they fade in pieces through shorter moments and weaker reasons. And I still replay the feeling of trying to stay close while watching us become ghosts. Still, I don't blame you fully or erase what was true. I just remember the distance growing in you, and maybe that's the truth that stayed all the way through. You fell further every day, and I did too. You fell further every day, and I watched it unfold slow, like losing someone without letting go. You fell further every day, and I still feel that space where your love used to stay. And after all this time, one truth cuts through. You fell further every day until I lost you. You never disappeared suddenly. You just stopped feeling near. Nothing ended clean, it just broke into pieces I still carry. You didn't leave a whole story behind, you left pieces, moments that don't connect anymore, but still exist. A laugh here, a silence there, a version of you I find everywhere. And I try to make sense of it like it means something still, but all I get are fragments that don't sit still. And I keep putting them together in different ways, trying to rebuild what decayed. I thought memory would fade, but it scattered instead. You left me with fragments, not something whole, just broken parts I still hold. You left me with fragments, and I stayed in the pieces, trying to feel what releases. And maybe that's why memory still pulls me through, 'cause you left me with fragments of you. I remember different versions from different days, none of them fully matching in the same way. Like you existed in layers I can't align, all scattered across my mind. And I think that's what hurts more than goodbye itself, not losing you once, but every self you left behind without closure or name, just echoes that never stay the same. I kept thinking I could fix it, but I remember in heart how you left me with fragments, and I still collect them all, even though they fall and fall. You left me with fragments, and I build you again, only to lose you in the end. And maybe that's why you of me. I don't think you're meant to leave pieces behind. I think that's just how forgetting sounds. Now I understand people don't disappear once. They scatter into moments that don't matter, but I still hold on to them like they're alive, like fragments can survive time. Still I don't blame you or rewrite what broke. I just live with the echo you spoke, and maybe that's the truth that stays through and through. You left me with fragments, and I did too. You left me with fragments, and I learned to survive the cracks even when nothing comes back. You left me with fragments, and I still feel them stay in every quiet day. And after all this time, one truth comes through. You left me with fragments of you. I don't remember the whole of us anymore, just the pieces that still remember me. I noticed it in the way you spoke to me, like softness stopped living there. You didn't become cruel overnight. That's not what this was. It was smaller than anger, quieter than us, just less patience in your voice, less care in your tone, like tenderness slowly left our home. And I kept trying to ignore it, telling myself you were tired. That stress changes people when they feel uninspired. But deep down I knew something had shifted in you, because love used to feel softer when it came through. I didn't miss perfection, I missed the gentleness. You stopped being gentle, and I felt it every day, like warmth between us fading away. You stopped being gentle, and I stayed through the change, trying to recognize your face. And maybe that's why memory still cuts me through, 'cause you stopped being gentle with me and you. I remember when your touch used to calm my mind. Now every interaction felt harder with time. Not violent, not loud, just emotionally rough. Like loving me gently became too much. And I think that's what hurt more than distance itself. Watching care disappear without help. No explanation, no dramatic scene, just a slower version of me. I think softness leaves first before people do. Stop being gentle, and I carried that alone, trying to turn sharpness into home. Stopped being gentle, and I kept making excuses for it, like tenderness was something we could revisit. And maybe that's why it lingers the way it do in me, 'cause you stopped being gentle with me. I don't think love ended in one moment. I think it ended when the care stopped sounding careful. Now Now I understand gentleness isn't weakness, it's emotional attention. The way someone handles your heart without tension. And I still replay those moments where your softness disappeared, like distance becoming clear. Still, I don't hate you or erase the good we knew. I just miss the version that felt true. And maybe that's the truth that stayed all the way through. You stopped being gentle, and I did too. You stopped being gentle, and everything changed from there. Like love stopped knowing how to care. You stopped being gentle, and I finally understood that softness was the thing holding us. And after all this time, one truth cuts through. You stopped being gentle before I lost you. It wasn't the distance that hurt first, it was the way your softness disappeared. I keep looking at you, but I keep missing who I'm supposed to see. You still sound like yourself on the surface of things, still say my name, still do familiar things. But something in the space between your words feels like a different person I never learned. It's not one clear change I can point to a name, just a quiet replacement, an emotional frame. And I keep trying to match you to the past I knew, but you don't feel like you. I don't know when it happened, but I can't find you in you. You're not who I love, not anymore. Like something inside you closed the door. You're not who I loved, and I stayed too long trying to feel what's gone. And maybe that's why memory still pulls me through. You're not who I loved in you. I remember searching your eyes for something familiar, like love could survive through the unfamiliar. But every moment I stayed showed me more of someone I didn't know before. And I think that's what hurts in a slow breaking way, not losing you suddenly but day by day, realizing the person I held so tight was slipping into a different life. I kept calling it change, but it felt like replacement. You're not who I loved, and I can't pretend anymore. Like memory still knocking on a closed door. You're not who I loved, and I still feel that pain in every familiar name. And maybe that's why it lingers the way you do in me, 'cause you're to me. I don't think you became someone wrong. I think you just became someone I no longer recognize. Now I understand love doesn't always end, it changes identity. And sometimes grief is just recognizing reality. But I still carry the earlier you, like a quiet ghost of the person I loved most. Still, I don't hate who you are now or what you've become. I just grieve the version that's done. And maybe that's the truth that stays through and through. You're not who I loved, and I'm not too. You're not who I loved, and I finally see it clear, like time erased. I loved and I loved you. I stopped trying to find you when I realized I was only finding memory. I noticed it in something small before I noticed anything else. Your laugh used to feel easy, like it came without thought, warm enough to fill silence without trying a lot. But then it started sounding different, lighter, shorter, restrained, like something underneath it had quietly changed, and nobody else would notice the shift the way I did. But when you love someone closely, you hear what they hide in it. Even happy moments started feeling rehearsed, and somehow your laugh changed first. I didn't know what it meant then, I just knew it felt unfamiliar. Your laugh changed first, before your words ever did, like something inside you slowly slipped. Your laugh changed first, and I kept pretending it didn't, like if I ignored the feeling I could fix it. And maybe that's why memory still follows me through, 'cause your laugh changed first with you. I remember replaying moments, trying to hear the old sound, the one that used to make everything feel calmer around. But even joy felt distant when it came from you, like happiness was something you were passing through. And I think that's what hurt me more than silence itself, watching familiarity become someone else without one clear reason. No dramatic scene, just subtle differences between everything. I think part of you left early, before either of us said it. Your laugh changed first, and I heard the distance grow like love fading softly below. Your laugh changed first, and I stayed listening still, trying to reconnect what I feel. And maybe that's why it lingers the way it do in me, 'cause your laugh changed first for me. I don't think the relationship ended first, I think the feeling inside it did. Now I understand people change before they leave, and sometimes sound reveals what hearts won't believe. But I still remember clearly how your joy once felt like somewhere I could rest inside myself. Still, I don't blame you for becoming someone new, I just miss the version I once knew. And maybe that's the truth that stays inside too. Your laugh changed first, and mine did too. Your laugh changed